Hey everyone, welcome to What the Flick. Halfway through Better Call Saul season 3, episode 5, Chicanery, Ben, Meredith, Alonso. So yeah, after a lot of Los Pollos Hermanos, we are now firmly back into Los Hermanos.
Los Hermanos McGill.
Yes.
Oh, that was good though, just to have. Yeah.
By the way, that's not an accident. That was Los Pollos Hermanos. Like I somehow that
I had never made that connection before. That literally just popped into my head.
That's right. This is a show about hermanos. So we got the scene, and it relied on the old reliable television and movie trick, which is
the witness stand.
Right, witness stand, and get the star witness to get emotional, and he'll reveal his true self. There was Michael McKean doing Jack Nicholson,
True.
You can't handle the truth about Jimmy. But it was, of course, it was excellent, and what made it most excellent, I mean, Michael McKean is just this spectacularly talented actor, so he was great, but it is the consistent contradictions in Jimmy, right? And Odenkirk's sort of getting what he needed because he knew he needed it, and then that look of being sort of crestfallen, disappointed in his brother and himself, and hating the moment that he just achieved, which is clearly going to save his law license.
Right. Yeah. No. We will at long last be talking about billions today. And again, it's that sort of thing of when characters reach that point that what they want to. That nothing is going to stand in the way of what they want, even if it's going to ultimately ricochet back on themselves.
That's right. Yeah, when they're right, you can't stop yourself from being yourself, or most often.
Yeah.
And you almost always tragically.
A great Howard scene this week too.
Oh my, yeah. Everything was. I mean, So I just have to say, Huel. Bringing in Huel to, if you guys remember Huel from Breaking Bad.
Yeah, sure, right, of course.
What is it, hot dog fingers Huel is what they call him? Bringing him in and having him introduced that way, especially with the slipping of the cell phone into the pocket, was one of my favorite scenes, because I always like the little nods. But Howard was great, but really it was like those extra characters from Breaking Bad, bringing them in, and even seeing like Dr. Caldera, again,
right.
The vet.
Oh, of course, yes. Though he's always
the Howard.
Does he have to fit into a small space? I got your guy.
Delicate touches, like Howard's fully embracing the different collared shirts with the gold, whatever those collar stays.
The 80s never ended.
Yeah. I mean, and just so you know, that guy can't be trusted. It doesn't matter instantly. Doesn't matter. Even he has moments of decency, right?
Yeah.
And in fact, even when he explains to Charles that hey, maybe you don't need to testify, and Charles figures it out, he's decent about it. He's like, look, man, of course I got to protect the firm, and I don't. Let's think this through.
But the look on his face, though, when he saw Chuck break down was just everything. It was like I should have just not have had him do this.
I knew I should. I knew it. Why? Because of course Howard doesn't care if Jimmy keeps his law license.
No, right? He's never going to work for the firm, so it's like whatever, it doesn't matter.
Right. I'll badmouth him around town. So, I can do.
Well, that was my favorite thing on the witness stand. He did get a job with. Do we want to talk about that?
Yeah. And Chad, right? And Kim's like, no, I don't think so. Yeah. So great stuff, Kim. That's just as I don't know why I compare them, but I think of them the same. And I put them together in a tweet during an argument, but I put the Allison Tolman and Rhea Seehorn. They don't in any way look alike. They don't play the same kind of character in any way, but I think it was that I had not seen either of them ever before. Or not that I remember.
That's true.
So it's not an act, Carrie Coon I knew.
Sure.
So I put her in, she was in my conscious, but just to sort of be thrust into these characters in these shows and realize, and they're in many ways carrying the show. Parts of the show.
They're sort of this fortress of calm.
Yeah,
they're seemingly like placid, whatever, but you do not fuck with either of those characters.
Yeah, and the way they give us the fact that the relationship between Jimmy and Kim is sexual, because he looks at her longingly at moments when to suggest that part's over.
Yeah,
right,
and then There they
But
are
yeah, but that
brushing
opening,
teeth,
yeah, I loved that opening scene because you have the opening statements and them just doing their routine, and I was like, God, I actually forgot that they were a couple. Like,
Yeah, that they
forgot.
still live together.
It was nice to have that moment because, like you said, I was wondering if things had changed with the new season, if maybe their relationship status had gone from in a relationship to it's complicated. Though I think that's always been the case for them.
Weird
It really,
cheese.
it really would be great if we fast forwarded to Minneapolis and and he see him and we've seen him in his house, we've seen him in his tent, and she is.
I thought it was in Nebraska.
Nebraska, yeah.
Nebraska, you're right, it's Nebraska. And then he comes, they go upstairs and she's like,
No, he seems miserable and alone. I don't think that's a thing.
We're not getting that moment.
But still, we can wish.
Sure.
Also,
the flashback though, that sets all the episode in motion, I thought was so great, especially because it's about that whole thing of that your secrets will bury you. You know, if he had said it then to her, then Jimmy wouldn't have this card to play now. You know.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, right. And
and it's so close to getting away with it, and then just the phone makes it.
and her following him, like because you're saying to him, Chuck, leave, just walk away.
Yeah, go to the bathroom.
He goes, and then she's still Jesus. Yeah,
I know. Well, and then having Rebecca show up again, it made me, and Jimmy says that line. He says, she's gonna really hate me after this. But I don't know. Like, I think she just more pities the whole situation. I don't know if Rebecca saw it for the scam that it was, or
I'm sure at some point it's going to be clear to her that she was brought there, as Chuck says, under false pretenses.
But yes, but yes, and I thought then, yes, she will. But I mean, what are you supposed to do? Your brother is trying to deprive you of your livelihood.
Right.
So yeah,
I'm going to play some dirty
I'm
ball.
going to play some, and it's not that dirty. Like it didn't expose. It didn't humiliate her in some way. It just, she was like, no, you'll. So I mean, to me, it's scolding him. And not writing him out of her life. Although I don't know that she needs to spend much time.
No,
with
I think it was almost closure.
Brother.
I would find that if I were in Rebecca's place, I'd find it as closure.
Right. I'm going to travel the country with that. I'm not going to worry about the McGills anymore. I'm done with
I got my orchestra.
The reality too is that none of this would have come to head like this if Chuck had just been a little bit more sympathetic to his brother.
That's right, totally.
That's all it. It almost reminds me of Fargo in a lot of ways. How it's a small little thing that people react very poorly to and make really bad decisions when it could have just been resolved in a much simpler manner.
We've said this on another show. It came up. I don't even remember what show, but I'm constantly sort of, maybe it was Better Call Saul. I don't think so though. But lawyers on television and in the movies and in life, I think this is true. There is and Chuck's sanctimonious speech about respecting the law, right? And I love the law too much, even though I love my brother. I mean, they are keenly aware of when crimes have happened and don't discuss it. They shouldn't. Lawyer-client privilege matters, and your lawyer has to, but they'll excuse themselves from the room and walk away so they don't hear the thing that they know is monstrous, right?
That's magically going to absolve them.
To me, I would rather have Jimmy. I would rather have the tireless, workman-like defender who is completely mixed up in the nonsense. I mean, Chuck's subterfuge to take the client away from Kim is accepted in the legal profession.
Right. Yeah.
Jimmy's isn't. I don't in God's eyes. I don't know that they're different.
No, but your Mesa Verdes of the world are much more comfortable dealing with the Chucks and the Howards than they are with the Jimmys.
All the more reason why you gotta, if you're gonna hang,
you gotta outfox them.
You gotta outfox them. So I just
the other great scene was Kim talking to the Mesa Verde people and telling them this thing's gonna happen, and they're like, "Gonna fuck whatever," and just that.
Yeah, but
she lets out.
But it's not gonna work. It's going to come back.
Probably, but nonetheless.
Because as good as that guy is, also it strikes me, again, because of what you said, the Mesa Verdes of the world, like he'll say, hey, I'd rather have somebody in the foxhole tell me, thanks for giving me the heads up, right? I'm not going to let that guy destroy it, and then he's going to go back.
Fuck her over.
Back to work, and he's like, listen, we're going to need a real lawyer. Like, enough of this nonsense.
Or what really happens to Kim is Mesa Verde really gets huge, becomes one of the biggest banks, and she just becomes their lawyer, like, de facto there, and she just hires and goes on with them forever.
Yeah, right.
That
and
could work.
Right. And
Maybe
the best outcome for Kim is that she goes to Mesa Verde's home office in Phoenix and lives there and meets a guy and has a nice life. And we don't hear from her. That's right. Makes $425,000 a year.
We want nothing but the best for Kim.
Right.
So one thing I want to bring up was that last scene, the slow pullback of Chuck on the stand and that camera slowly pulling back, and then it goes to everyone else in the courtroom, and then you see from the exit sign down, and Chuck almost looks like catatonic, and that was. Oh God, because I'm wondering, I'm like, is he gonna go back into like a weird mental regression state? Because I did not see the previews for next week. So I'm just like, is it gonna be another one of those moments where like Chuck is finally broken and now he has to rebuild himself back up again, finally facing his demons?
Yeah. I did see the previews, I'm not gonna say that.
Okay.
Do we know who directed this episode?
No.
Not offhand, I can look.
But the magic of the internet can tell us.
That's right.
Yeah.
Daniel Sackheim.
Okay.
And it was great, I agree. But I watched that Sobracito again.
Sabrosito, yeah.
And man, I just think that's like the best hour of television I've seen in some time. I mean, and that was Thomas Schnauz.
Schlemmy.
Huh?
Tommy Schlemmy?
No, that guy. But he's
Oh, Schnauz, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know that name.
he's a writer on the show too.
Oh, okay.
But it was just but that brilliant. I mean, there were so many cuts in that.
I know.
So many cuts as Gus is putting the food away. I was so into that scene, and it's just the drama is set up. There was so much silence in that episode. Anyway, I loved it.
So yeah, this is I'm learning a lot about structure of seasons in doing these shows. Because now we sort of know like a lot of times the penultimate episode is going to be where like a lot of plot things happen. So that then we see how that reflects on the characters in the final episode. In these 8 and 10 episodes, they're very much kind of divided into a first half, second half. So like clearly we've first half climax with this bar hearing that we've been building up to, and so now it's going to be all the after effects of everything that's happened. But yeah, this show is just on all cylinders.
Do you think we'll get to a character named Saul in season 3 of Better Call Saul?
Maybe.
Yeah,
We'll see.
I know. It's like, where do we go from here? How does he become Saul?
I know. This is the long ass origin story, but it's
I'm okay.
It's better than the new King Arthur movie. So there you go. All right. So we'll be back next week. Thanks for watching.